G'day guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today I will be going over my tips and predictions for the 2024 AFL Preliminary Finals. Now, if you haven't already, please check out my previous two videos that I made. One was about the qualifying and elimination finals and the other one was about the semi-finals. Before we get started, I would like to go over my tips and predictions from last week very briefly. So, yes, I got them both wrong, okay? I got both games wrong. I tipped Hawthorn to beat Port Adelaide at the Adelaide Oval, and I tipped GWS to beat Brisbane at NG Stadium. I can't believe I got both those games wrong. I really thought Hawthorn were going to win against Port Adelaide, but no, they showed up. The players really wanted to put in a much better effort after being heavily scrutinised by the media. And as for Brisbane, wow, I did not expect them to come back from behind like that, from like 44 points down. And this is 2 weeks in a row GWS choked big leads in finals. So anyway, on to the tips and predictions for this week. So the first game I will be going over will be Sydney versus Port Adelaide at the SCG on a Friday night. Now, where to begin? Well, Sydney are favourites, I understand that. However, they have lost their last, I think, 8 games in a row against Port Adelaide, and they haven't beaten the Power since back in 2016, so 8 years since they've last beaten the Power. And on top of that, the last time those two teams faced off against each other was back, like 6 or 7 weeks ago, when Port Adelaide absolutely destroyed the living daylights out of Sydney, and Sydney didn't even score for like the 1.5 quarters. Like, it was, at one stage it was like the scores were 71-0, and I mean, they ended up losing, the Swans ended up losing that game by like 112 points, I believe. Wow. Just absolutely wow from a minor premier as well. Last week in the semi-finals, Port Adelaide were able to just go over the line against Hawthorn, but it came at a bit of a cost because Todd Marshall will not be playing this week against the Swans. And I'm sure after giving it everything they've gotten, the players are more like battered and bruised, you know, so I don't expect them to be as fresh, you know, or as fit or as fast as the Swans. On the other hand, 2 weeks ago in a qualifying final, the Swans were able to come back from behind in the last quarter against the Giants and earn themselves a home preliminary final, and the players just coming off a bye will be all fresh. And for that reason, I will be tipping the Swans to win this game by 23 points. Like, I reckon, although Sydney are usually slow starters in the first quarter, they have the ability to come back from behind and just finish off the game strongly, which is why they are the minor premiers. And this is what I reckon will happen. My big call is that Sydney trail by 4 or more goals at quarter time and then end up winning the game by 23 points. Now, onto the second preliminary finals match between the Geelong Cats and the Brisbane Lions at the MCG on a Saturday, like twilight, I believe. Now, I reckon this will be a more 50-50 game. In my opinion, this game would be more interesting as a neutral supporter to watch, you know. So just last week, Brisbane were trailing by like 44 points, like midway through the third quarter against GWS, and it looked like all hope was lost. GWS were going to book themselves a ticket to a prelim. However, that did not end up being the case, because Brisbane, they believed in themselves, the players believed in themselves, the coach inspired the players to believe in themselves, and then they ended up putting up a strong display in the last quarter. But they did kick like 5 goals in a row late in the third quarter as well, so the margin was like only like four goals, I think, at 3/4 time. 2 weeks ago in the qualifying final, Geelong, wow, they came off such a dominant display against Port Adelaide. Like, I cannot believe that. I really thought Port Adelaide should have won that game, to be honest with you, because they had the home ground advantage, and because I thought they were a more convincing top 4 side than Geelong, you know. But no, I was completely wrong, and I was completely baffled by the final result. Geelong absolutely thumped Port Adelaide by 84 points. Wow, that just shows how good Geelong have been and how magnificent of a football club they've been in recent times, you know. I don't think anyone can argue against that. Now, their playing group, in comparison to just 2 weeks ago, is only going to get stronger with the inclusion of Tom Stewart. One thing I forgot to say as well is, wow, what a magnificent effort by Joe Danaher in that last quarter, kicking the last 2 goals of the game to win it for the Lions. I know he's been heavily criticised by the media throughout the year, and not just this year but also in previous years as well, whether or not he's a superstar. Well, he definitely was a superstar in last week's game against the Giants. This game will be played at the MCG, not at Geelong's real home ground in Cardinia Park. But I am still going to be tipping Geelong to win this game in a tight one by just 4 points. Now look, I can definitely see Brisbane winning this game, but because I think, well, Geelong, they've had the week off, you know, and they've come off such a magnificent win against the Power, you know, I'm just going to back in the home side here. And my big call will be that Brisbane lead for longer throughout the game, but Geelong end up winning the game. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. It means the world to me. And yes, ring that notification bell. Yes, feel free to share this video to anyone you know, and yes, feel free to leave a comment down below. I hope you've had a great week so far. I hope you guys enjoy the footy. If your teams are playing, best of luck. And I will see you all next time.